And welcome back to my video tutorials. Today I'm looking at Sonocent Audio Notetaker version 4. And as you can see from the layout straight away, it's a little bit different. Actually, I prefer it this way. Everything's positioned perfectly for you to access quickly. For example, top left hand corner, we have the record button now next to the capture button. So when you're actually recording videos, taking clips, it's right next to the record option that you can change the microphone options for as well. It used to be on the right hand side, which was a bit clumsy. Also, bottom left hand corner, they used to have this on the ribbon at the top. They've moved this down separate, but I think works pretty good as well. So let's get straight into it and have a look what we can do with it. You can use it for interviews, lectures, note taking, absolutely anything you want. So first thing I like to do, just give you the layout quickly of the first option here, which is images. In this section here, when you click it will turn blue. This will indicate that you can import images, be it JPEG, PDFs, PowerPoints, doesn't matter, they can be imported there. Now you can use the import option up here, click that button and then select import images or slides. Second option is your text pane. This is where you add your own notes to. Now you can add your notes from the audio, or you could copy and paste notes into there. It's entirely up to you how you want to work that. And if I click into the third option, this is where you actually add your audio. When you actually record with Audio Notetaker, it creates blocks, which enables you to use annotation to highlight. It gives you more access over that audio, rather than just having one sound file. Just one other thing down, bottom left hand corner it says View. Currently I've got this option here that's not selected, Show Reference Pane. Now if I click this, we then will have 4 panes in the middle. And there we go. There's my 4th pane for references. Now I tend to use this all the time because, for example, if you import the lecture slides there, we can then take the text off the lecture slides, put them to your reference pane, and then you can highlight key things you might need to look out for. You can even add references, or even if you desire, links to the website. And when you actually create those links in www, it creates a hyperlink so you can access those websites quick. Really handy. Before we start, let's go over the interface quickly. So, from left to right, your first option is record. Click the little arrow here, will give you 3 options. Microphone only. This indicates it's only going to record from your internal microphone or external microphone if you've got one. Microphone and speakers. This will record from the microphone on your laptop and internally on your computer. For example, if you're running a YouTube video or a sound file, it will pick that up as well, which is a good idea because you can add your own audio notes while you're listening. And of course, speaker only. This will only record what's actually running on your computer. For example, YouTube, it will only record that audio file. Next option is capture. Now with the capture option, if I click it once, you can see this square rectangle pop up. And the whole point of this, if you hold the left button at the corner, you see where that crosshair comes up, and hold the left button and drag, you can drag it over to what you want to create a snapshot of. For example, say there was a video there. If you go to the corners and hold the left button, you can then position it exactly over the video. You can click enter, or just use the option there to create a snapshot. And you can see the snapshot goes straight into Audio Notetaker. And also I was actually recording from a video, which I'll show you later, and then also record the audio in the audio section. Great for getting down revision notes. Let me close that and open up Audio Notetaker again. There's your playback button, so whatever audio you've recorded here, we can click play and play that back. You can change the volume here, left to right, and also the speed here. Slow it down or speed it up. There are shortcut keys for that as well. You could use Control plus, plus and minus. But as we're going along, I'll have those shortcut keys up so you'll be able to reinforce your learning as we're going along. We also have pause mode, and we have audio cleanup. And that's really handy for getting rid of background noise. So it's like a noise cancel, works really well. And we have a voice effect here. So we can have higher, deeper or none. And again, you can play around with that later. Sections. These are the sections here. We've got one section there, haven't we? So if I was to come up here and select the drop down arrow, I can then insert sections here. For example, I might want to insert a section above that one. And there you go. There's my section above there. Also, you might decide you actually want to move that section, and you can as well using that option. This is for importing various medias from audio, images. As I say, that covers PDF, also covers JPEGs, PNGs, quite a lot of formats. And import slides. Again, that will be your PowerPoint slides. And we can even choose the audio quality. That's really important what you choose here on your audio, because you can choose speed quality conversion, smaller which will be faster, but obviously anything that's better quality is always larger, be it pictures or audio, in this case audio. Also, I'll show you later, we can actually export your project to either as an album, audio album, to iTunes, to audio and images as a video, so you can watch them both back. Again, that's great because you can actually see it and hear it at the same time. And also text and images, which is great for then you can have them in a Word document and then print them off and use them as revision notes. Extract, that will extract colours, because when we actually create audio it creates blocks, and then you come to the right here, then we use the colour banding to colour coding. So using the extract button you can pull out exact colours, if I click that button there, that you want to use. For example, I might have a lot of red and important, you could tick that and select them all, point them to another project and then work off that. Really handy, saves you time. Speak, that will speak back the actual text. So for example, if I was to copy over text from a slide into the reference pane, I could then click on speak and have that spoke back to us, which is great for also understanding each slide. Scribe, this is a new option. This is used in conjunction with Dragon NaturallySpeaking. We click that button, you have to make sure you've set up a profile ready, and then it will transcribe the audio into text. Quality is okay again, but you're never going to get perfect. It's still quite a new technology. And tools. And just a quick look on the right here, you can see we've got three options here: images, text and audio. So as the audio says there, we can colour code certain blocks as we annotate your audio as we're going along. We can also change each section colour. For example, you might have a section that's important or a section that you need to review. So if I click review, you can see then the colour's changed. Also, if you press the corresponding numbers on the right, so I'll press 9, we get important. So if I press number 6, we'd then get summary. Saves you time. It's definitely worth learning the shortcut keys. Makes a big difference. And as I scroll down the bottom, see that little arrow? Click on that. It gives us continuous colouring. If you want to keep a certain colour banding going, tick that button. And you can always go to the default colour when you've changed to a different colour by clicking on that option there. And again, if I click default section colour, it goes back to its default colour. Up to text works the same way. You can colour code your text, which I'll show you as well. Click the drop down menu. Got a great spell checker there. This is quite handy. Copy all text from slides and images. This will take all the text from a slide and put them to the reference pane. And top right hand corner, click into there, then you can add your own information for each PowerPoint slide or interview, whatever you're doing. Always add the information in there so you certainly know what it is. And we're almost ready to go. So let's do a new project. So just create a new project, go top left hand corner and left click the option there and select new. And we're now ready to go. And you've got a lecture tomorrow and you're going to download your PowerPoints. Remember, you can use PowerPoint or you can use PDFs because it kind of varies on what format they use. Either will work, it's not an issue in the image pane. So select import and select slides. Now I've got some demo slides here, so I'm going to choose the Ethics of Tea and click open. And that's a PowerPoint format, but you can use PDF. Now give it a little while to import the slides to our left in the image pane. Once that's imported, we can start working off those slides. Now again, you don't have to import these because you might not always get them before the actual lecture. You might get them on the day or after, but it doesn't matter either way which way you work this. Audio first or slide, doesn't make no difference. So here we go. I've got the Ethics of Tea. Now as I said to you before, I'm going to use the text pane in the middle to put my own notes down from the audio that's been recorded from the lecture. But I like another section. If I go down here and remember and select reference pane, we now have 4: images, reference, text and audio. Now click into the reference pane. Now I'm going to take the text off these PowerPoints and put them to the reference pane, so I can start just highlighting stuff that I might have to listen out for that could be quite relevant. So to do that, make sure the cursor's in the reference pane and come over to the right. You see that little arrow there? Click on it and it brings up all your options for the reference pane. We have check spelling, copy text from all slides, copy text from this slide only, or copy all text and images. I'm just going to copy text from all slides. That's all I require. And if I scroll down, you can now see that all the text from the slides has now been put into the reference pane. Great to get you up and running. With the cursor at the beginning, I can listen to that back just to check I do understand it. So go to speak. If you want to change your settings, go to speak settings at the bottom, and then you can change your voice. And I'm going to change to, no, actually let's leave it on. I'm going to change it to David and click OK.
You have selected Microsoft David Desktop, English, United States, as the computer's default voice.
Excellent. Now you can even change the speed if you want using the slider here. But I'm happy with that. I'm going to click OK. Cursor at the beginning of the reference pane with the text I copied over. I'm now going to hit the playback button.
The Ethics of Tea. Economics. Module, Development Economics. Lecturer, Dr. Anna Brooks.
And click the speak button again to stop it. I'm happy with that. So now I've done a colour code a few bits there. I've done a colour band what's important. Or maybe a task. So for example, module development. Economics. I'm going to highlight that. And I'm going to use the important button there. See, I've clicked it once. If I come back, I now colour coded that. More looks like a pinky than a red, but it doesn't matter because if you click the option button, we've got loads of options we can change. For example, I might decide actually I want that a bit more bold. That's a lot better. Underline, italic, you can even use numbered lists, or if you require, you can even use bulleted lists, indents and decrease indents, so that's really useful. You have your font option there as well, really good. Click back on options, so as you can see that's really handy. Then I might decide I'm going to highlight the lecturer, and I might just want to delete that out of there later. And again you can add bold if required. Also I might put in here, it could be useful, a website. So I'm going to pop in www.anything really, t.com, that would do. Click enter and you see it's turned into a hyperlink. So if I was to click on that link, it would go straight to that website if it existed. So you can see how handy it is to pre-plan if you're able to get your slides first. But again, if you can't, it doesn't matter. We'll carry on. So we've got all our reference pane ready, and you've highlighted all your slides, you've gone down. Let's go on the theory that you're actually in a lecture and you've got your laptop with you. Remember, there's also an app you can get, Sonocent Notetaker App, and it's free, and you can use that to record your lectures with, and it gives you the same option of colour banding. So what you can do is you can then sync it with your audio note taker on your PC and then upload your recordings from your lecture onto your PC version, and it create it for you on here as well. I've done a separate tutorial on that, so have a look at my website or my YouTube channel. So you're sitting in a lecture. I'm going to come up to the top left hand corner. We're now ready to record the lecture. It's just started, so I'm going to press the record button once. And as you can see, as I speak, it creates blocks. If I stop talking, there'll be no blocks. And this is how Audio Notetaker works. Because you're actually visually seeing the audio, you can work better with it. Now, at the bottom, you can see an option called Recording from Microphone, and that's how it's picking up. Now, obviously, lecture rooms can be large, auditoriums can be very big, so use an external mic if you've got one, or just check the quality of your recordings as a test to see how it's picking up. But to be honest with you, it doesn't really matter, because you can use an external recorder to actually record your lectures, and then you import it into Audio Notetaker, and then you can export it into your audio sections. All you need on your actual recorder is something called an index or bookmark button. So every time you press it, it creates a bookmark within that audio file, and that's what separates it to each slide. But we're going on a theory that you're actually in a lecture. So this is your first slide, and they're now going to change to slide 2. So I can press the enter key. And as you can see, it's now corresponded and gone down to slide 2, where it's now recording. Now you might say, well, that's all and good, but say I want to add a few notes. Well, you're more than welcome. Start typing. So I just type this is a note. So you can see you can type as you're going along. Now really important here, you can see at the top now it's got text enter. Now if I want to go down to a third slide, if I click enter now, it won't go down to your third slide. You've got to click enter first, and then press enter again, and then it goes down to your third slide, and that's how you keep it synced for your lecture. So as you can see how powerful this is. So when you come to do your revision, you've got all your slides, all your reference pane and text from the slides that you can highlight, edit, playback. You've got all your notes from the audio all ready for revision. So I'm going to go up and press the stop button, and let's go back and have a look. They actually recommend that you actually take your notes when you get back rather than in the lecture, because you miss so much in the lecture if you take notes down. This way when you come back you can analyse it and take your time. Let me show you. So if I click on the beginning of the first slide, I could have highlighted stuff as I was going along by using these options here. So I could have clicked 1 and it would have banded that important. But I think it's better to do it when you get back. So if I click play, and now I'm going to start colour coding. I press number 1, which is corresponding, so that's important. Now I'm going to press number 3, thinking that will have to be a task. And if you want to jump from one section to another, if you press the right hand cursor key, it jumps. Press the right hand cursor key, it jumps. Now I'm going to press number 4 for delete, because I do not need that. And I'm going to press 4 again to delete. Now come back up and click the stop button there. And as you can see, you're now colour coded of what's important, what could be a task and what you don't want. So what I could do now with the yellow bits, I could just highlight them if I want, or not even bother to highlight them. I can delete them using the extract option. But I'm going to right click and I'm just going to select delete, and it's gone. So let's have a look at that so far. So far so good. So if I click on the beginning, now I can play back all my slides and get my notes down. So if I click play, and as you can see as I speak, then if you click spacebar, which is a shortcut key, it will then pause, and then you can start adding your notes as so. Then you want to hear it back again. See, what I'm going to do is sync your audio to play, stop, add your notes. Sync your audio to play, stop, add your notes. Now if you've got Dragon, then you can dictate into the text pane as well. Saves you typing. So now if I click enter again, and if I click spacebar again, it will play back and I can add more notes. Creates blocks. If I stop talking, there'll be no blocks. So I've hit spacebar again. I'm now going to add a few more notes. And you can see it's just a great way to sync it. And then click the enter key again. So as you see how powerful it is. Now there's another option up here I haven't shown you yet, which is the extract button. Now if I click that, now I'm going to extract audio because I've not colour coded any sections yet. I'll show you that in a minute. So if I left click audio, and if I drag it over, you can see it's only showing me the colours that I've actually used within my task or lecture. So I can decide, right, I can extract to a new project or a current one. So what I'm going to do is click plus at the top, and I'm going to call this, go to right hand corner, we've got to give this a title. So I'm going to call this just important tea. Tea is always important. First task of the day, tea or coffee. You can add your topic, which will be tea, the speaker of the lecture or interview. It depends on how you want to work that. The date's already there for you. Click the arrow, and there we go. I've got a new task called important tea. So if you go back up to the top, we can see we've got tabs here of everything we've used so far. So I'll go back ethics of tea, and I will just want to extract the red bits, important bits. So I can go to extract. I'm extracting the audio. I don't want tasks, so I'm going to untick that. And there it is in the drop down menu, extract info. Now when I click this button, it will extract only the red and the slides into a new project with the text. And there you go. How about that for breaking down lectures and information? Really effective program. So I'll go back to ethics of tea. Also, as we know, we can read back your reference pane. If you click on the beginning of your text pane, you can also use the option there and use the speak back.
Adding notes. Adding notes.
If you desire as well. Now I'm going to play that back a sec, because I want to check out these options at the top. We've got a few here that I showed you earlier, which is voice effect. I'm going to play it back and try one out. So let's play. And as you can see, as I speak, it creates blocks. If I
stop talking, there'll be no blocks. And this is how Audio Notetaker works.
Because you're actually visually seeing the audio,
you can work better with it. Now, at the
Oh, I like that deeper one. I sound like I mean business. I'm not too sure on the higher one though. I sound like I'm on helium. But excellent option anyway. Also there we've got a great option is here, which is you can get rid of hiss and hum, typing and clicks, rumble and fuzz, and brighten. Now play around with these noise cancellations, they're pretty good, especially the hiss and hum, and see how you get on with that, and then I'll analyse and add that to your audio file. Also, you might want to add your own section underneath, say for example references. So if I come to the right here, you can see top right hand corner I'm in audio section as it's highlighted. I'm going to make this first slide number 9, I'm going to press or click on it, important. I'm going to make slide 2 a summary. So go back to slide 1. We can use the extract button again to just extract the sections you want as well, not just individual audio. So remember that, because there might be certain slides that you want that is really important. You can just extract them with the audio. How about we try out a new scribe option at the top here. So I'm going to delete in the text pane and get rid of that. And I'm going to go up to Scribe option. Now if you've got Dragon NaturallySpeaking and you've got a profile set up, just press that button. Don't start Dragon NaturallySpeaking and just click Scribe. Now first option is going to ask you is open configure speech recognition, so left click that and then look for which is your profile. I've got 2 profiles there. I'm just going to use the audio note taker. You don't have to create a certain profile, just use the one that's already there. Click open. And there you go, it's opened. It may take up to 20 to 30 seconds. Click OK. So now if I click on Scribe again, it's going to ask me do I want to scribe by colour, scribe current section, which I'm going to do with the audio, or scribe the whole of the audio. Now if you come down to settings, we can choose where to send that transcribed text. So I'm going to send it to the text pane rather than the reference pane, as I've got all my other information in there. So I'm just going to select Scribe Current Section. Click it once and then leave it to do its stuff. And let's have a little look. Now this is what I like about this new option. See, as it transcribes the text, because I've highlighted that block, that audio, it's also colour coded in the required colour. Fantastic little option that is, I like that a lot. And you see it's done it with the green as well, which would have been my tasks. It just keeps you so organised and visually organised with your work. Now let's look at the accuracy of that. So if we now play that back, click on the beginning and click the speak button.
And as you can see as I speak it creates blocks. If I stop talking be no blocks, and this is how all Notetaker works. Could you at least visually seen the audio? You can work better with it now.
Okay, it's not 100% accurate. I'd probably say looking at that 75, 80. But it ain't bad. And then you can change any errors if you want as well. Now obviously it's going to pick up my voice, and I'm not sure it's going to pick up someone else's voice, because remember, Dragon profile is set to my voice. But play around with that, see how you get on. So you can see how such a powerful program this can be. Now again, as I said, if we go up to top left hand corner and select new, or by the way, you might not decide that you don't want to actually, you might decide you actually want to create a certain project. So if you select the home tab, that will always be there. You can choose whether you want blank document, recording from microphone and speaker, saves you setting up the settings separately, recording from speaker only, input your audio, and again input slides or record my presentation. So I'm going to select record from microphone and speakers. What that does, if you go to record, it sets it up for you there automatically. So let's say you've got an interview to do. Add the reference pane, or in this case you might not want the image pane. So the reference pane could be the question. And then this could be the answer to the question. So if I click record, you could then be asking a question, and then you could put your then you could type up some answers to the questions, you record them if you want, the answers. So make sure you select the audio tab, then click record, and you can start recording the actual lecture. And if you require, you can also type your notes in while you listen, but you know, probably do that when you actually get back. Now see what it says enter. Make sure you click enter first before you can go down to your next section. You might be asking a second question. Click enter, and that will keep it corresponding. So I'm going to click the stop button. But what you most likely do first is do that and add all your questions here first. So what you probably do is create each section separate. So remember, click section and insert one below and keep inserting that way. Then that way, remember to colour code stuff sections as well so you can see where you're at and what you're doing. So I'm going to make this more of a mauvey colour. Click the next section and I'm going to make that, say, review. And then you can put all your questions in here. Second, third and so on. So a really great option. But what I want to do back a second, I want to go back to the ethics of tea. Now, we've got our audio for the lecture, you've got all your notes taken down in the text section, all the reference from the actual slides, your own notes or even website links. How about we export that to a Word document so that you can print them out and use them as revision that way? No problem. Let's go to the export option. Left click that once and we can export it to audio as an album or to iTunes, or audio, images as a video, or text and images. I want to use text and images first. Now before we actually export, you need to choose if you want the image pane here, the reference pane and your text pane all exported. If you've got visual diagrams on your images, then obviously you'll export that to a Word document so you can see that. You might decide actually I don't need the reference pane, but I'm going to actually export the lot, including all your notes from the audio. Obviously you can't export your audio. Click OK. Choose where we're going to save it to, save it on the desktop and click save. And if we go to desktop, we should now have that ethics of tea in a Word document. And as you can see, if I scroll down, even your colour coding, everything's ready for you to do your revision with. And you see how effective it can be. Open back Audio Notetaker. I'm also going to export the audio and images as a video. I'm going to leave it on medium. I could do large, but I think medium format's fine. Click OK. Choose again where you need to save it to. Desktop. I'll leave it as the ethics of tea. You can see it does it in MP4 file format. Click save. And hopefully we'll have the text and the audio ready for you to do your revision with. And then you could upload it onto your iPad, your phone, smartphone, doesn't really matter. Close all, how it comes out. I'm going to maximise that. Creates blocks. If I stop talking, there'll be no blocks. And this is how Audio Notetaker works. Because you're actually visually seeing the audio, you can use the external mic if you've got index or bookmark. As I skip through, you've got your slides and your audio going with it. As you can see, it's such a great program to use. So there's a couple of ways of using it. How about using it if you need to watch videos, for example, if you're doing a medical degree? Or you just want to take notes down from any video for yourself as revision. We can do that as well. Now we can go to File New, but I want to go to Home, and I want you to select the option here because we're going to record from a video. Why don't we choose Record from Microphone and Speakers? We could do that, but it's going to pick up external noise. If you only want to record from the actual video, then I would choose Recording from Speakers Only. And we're ready to go. So now I'm going to open up Google, and I'm going to go to YouTube to find a video to show you how this works. Now let's find a video. Anything would do. How about see what we get on a bit of psychology. That looks interesting. Crash Course Psychology. So I'm going to open a link.
That dream about the dinosaur and the leotard.
And I'm going to pause that. So I'm going to hold the left button and I'm going to drag this window, hold the left button all the way to the left so it locks in. I need to do the same thing for Audio Notetakers. So click at the top, hold the left button and drag it to the right till it locks in. Now we're ready to go. Now I've got three options here. I've got audio, images and text again. We can leave that as it is. But what I need to do, I need to take snapshots of this video. So this is where the capture button comes into play. Now if I go to audio, remember I'm only going to be recording from internal speakers, so the recording that's actually on the computer, not externally. If you want to add your own audio notes as you're going along, then add both. So I'm going to select the capture button, and again rectangle window pops up. But to click this button here, this will move over to the topmost window. So if I click it to show you, which is that one there, if I click the one next to it, will then cover the whole screen. But if I drag this down, I actually want to just angle it over that video. So I'm going to hold the left button, and you can then drag in each section to how you want it to put it over the corresponding clip of video. So let's just get that in quickly. Obviously the neater is the better, and it's done. We're ready to go. So as we're listening to it, it will be recording it in Audio Notetaker here on the right, but I can take snapshots using the enter key or using the button here. So first thing you need to do is press record on Audio Notetaker and then play on YouTube.
Said that thing that you know you shouldn't have
And as
said,
you
or
can see on
even
the
that
right,
thing you
it
didn't even
started
know
to
you were
record
gonna say.
a
The
lecture.
little cogs of your consciousness cranking away, making your life possible, making
Now I'm
society.
just going to pause a second. You've got to bear in mind, if the speaker is continuously talking, there's no gaps, and you'll get no gaps in the actual recording. So as you can see at the moment, it's not recording nothing because I've just put it on an external speaker. So I'm going to press record.
Function all of the things that you're
And I'm
so
going to
glad
press
you
the
can
enter
do,
key to
and
take a
all the
snapshot of
ones
that
you
video.
wish you could stop doing. Excluding other human minds, your mind is the most complicated piece of the universe that humans currently know about. The rules that govern
now
it
if I press
are
the enter key,
mysterious and elusive. Maybe our brains just aren't
takes a
complex
snapshot of the
enough to
video and
understand
moves the audio with it.
themselves.
But
that's
just
not
got to
gonna
remember
stop us
here,
from
if there's
trying.
no
The word
breaks in the
psychology comes from the
actual
Latin for the
utterances,
study of the
then it would take the
soul.
whole block
And while
down. But
its
we can
formal
break them up
definition
later.
has evolved over the
And
last
again, you might go,
several
oh, that's
decades.
interesting.
Today, we can safely
Click enter
call it
again.
the science of behavior
And you see how you're
and
taking
mental
every bit of
processes.
information
The
and
term
moving it down with the
psychology wasn't
corresponding
coined until
image.
around the turn of the 16th century, and a practice that we would actually call science today wasn't established until the mid-1800s.
And then I'm going to come up
Of
the
course,
top and press
humans
stop
have
on Audio
always been
Notetaker.
curious about themselves
And I'm going to
what's
pause
going on.
YouTube and maximise Audio Notetaker. Close the little capture button, and it's done. So then you end up with your visual clips with the audio, and then you click on the beginning, click play,
Most complicated piece of the universe that humans currently know about. The
then you
rules
can
that
start
govern
adding your
it
notes.
are mysterious and elusive. Maybe
Click
our
pause.
brains just
As you see how effective it is with videos as well. Great for doing revision again. I'm going to show you a few shortcut keys quickly. To speed up, you can use Control plus the minus or plus key to slow down and speed up. That's the same as doing the option here. If you use the cursor left and right, it will move from segment back and forth. So as you can see, I'm moving back, it's going to each segment, and forward. Page up, page down, if you've got that on your keyboard, will move you from section up, section down, so you can jump from each section. These shortcuts become second nature after a while. Save you having to go up the top and do it manually or click with the cursor. And the last thing that really useful, should cover it just for now, just give you the real basics. You know I said earlier about utterances when there's no gaps in the actual audio. Well, if you right click, you can add a little break. So I'm going to click Control plus T, or right click and select split chunk. And you can split the chunk. The whole point of that, if you highlight it, hold the left button, then you can drag it and move it around your sections quite easily. So like cut and paste and drag it back up, or even right click and delete part of that utterance you don't want by left clicking. Again, right click and select split. If you actually want to join two together, just use a little cursor key, press once so it goes right in the middle, and then do a right click and using Control plus M or selecting merge chunks, and you've now merged them back together. You've got some great options on the right clicks, so bear in mind you've got them there, like undo merge, or you can extract your colour options there from sections. And just if you're not happy with the colour banding on your audio, it's not a problem either. Click into audio section, it highlights blue. You've got an edit colour option here, and now you can start editing the colours. Now as you see, we've got sections here. Let me add one. I'll just put my own. And then we can play around with the colours you want. For example, you might decide you actually don't want important, remove it. You actually might decide you don't want blue. Double tap it with the left mouse button, change it to another colour. This gives you total control, and that goes for your sections as well. You can remove or add. Now also if you click into them, so click once, then click mouse again, left click, you can then rename them to whatever you want. So it gives you total control over the colour banding you want, so when you're highlighting your audio. And then click save and it will save. And close. I hope that's enough just to get you up and running. It just gives you the fundamentals of using it. There's so much more than Audio Notetaker. So once you get into it, go and have a look at Sonocent Audio Notetaker website. And they got some fantastic material in there to help you out. And before we quickly move on, I recommend before you even start to use all the templates which I showed you with import slides, choose PDF if you want, or PowerPoint, then go import and import your audio and select some audio, and I would start playing around with that before you actually start one. That way you'll get used to the interface. Just going to come down and click the X to stop that a second. Also, just quickly click into the audio section. So we're now in that section, audio. You know we chose edit colour key, but if you click the drop down menu, you'll have your default ones there. For example, my lecture colours or level. So if I select my lecture colours, you can see it changes. But as I showed you before with the editing key, you can create your own ones from that anyway. And last of all, it's where the help files are. Go up to the home tab, that will always be there. Select home tab. To the right, you see here we have tutorials. They're interactive tutorials as well, but you can use the online video guides as well. But I find the interactive one works really well. You click on the beginning and then click play.
Welcome to Sonocent Audio Notetaker.
And it will show you some of the things you can do with Audio Notetaker.